many words that are gender neutral. Unlike
I think the
French.
short answer is no.
Unlike French. French is not gender neutral. And you know what else is? But you even in French now you see when a master of ceremonies, somebody's hosting something in French. You go to a hockey game, and they ask you to stand for the national anthem or whatever. The MC will always say now, "Mesdames et Messieurs," okay,
Right.
which is well, it's ladies and gentlemen, right? But
Yeah.
and which is, I suppose, a polite way of doing it. But you always see that, you know, what is that? That wasn't a very good example. What's a good example of what we're seeing over and over again? Stuff like um, him/her, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, because we don't want to say now. The truth is, the proper grammar is him, because as Winston Churchill pointed out, when male and female are together in the English language, the male is always dominant. The male, male always embraces the female.
Well, I could see where that would people would see it that way. Yeah.
That was the way he explained it, and he's absolutely right. It's the male pronoun always includes, if it's a mixed group, the male pronoun um, uh, um, always embraces, always includes the female if there's a female as part of the group. And if it's not clear, in other words, it's sort of like, um, uh, you know, he shall cut the grass as a general rule. Okay, whoever
Yep.
the caretaker, which is a gender neutral term, the
Yes.
caretaker shall cut the grass. So what's the proper pronoun to use there? The proper pronoun to use is he, because it's not
Yes.
defined. Is it a he or a she? We don't know. So we say he. He shall cut the grass. That's proper English grammar right there. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to offend anyone. So we always say she shall cut the grass, right? But
Not on my
here's the
place.
question. Here's a question that I have, not to confuse things too much, Nick. But why is it none of these people ever complain about the fact that it's always he, she? Why isn't it she, he?
Oh, I've heard people do that.
Have you?
I've actually heard a priest from the altar say, "My sisters and brothers," when traditionally it is my brothers and sisters. That
Okay.
doesn't denigrate anybody. That's just a proper English. And when they flip it on their head like that, thinking they're
Um,
being inclusive, they're just embarrassing themselves.
well, okay. I guess that's a little thing. But here's a better one, okay? Now we're going to get really deep. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the theology part of the Nick and Joe show. So just brace yourself. We're getting very deep, right?
Oh, deep,
What,
deep. Yep.
who, what is, I'm not talking Jesus, I'm talking God. What is God's gender?
Doesn't have one.
The answer is God doesn't have a gender.
That's right.
So from a purely grammatical point of view in English, God is neither a he nor is he a she. God is an it. But we're not comfortable referring to God as an it. Now in Hebrew, which is, when I pray, I pray in Hebrew, right? Because, that's God's language, as we all know. So,
Well,
that, that and
you might
Latin.
get some that in Latin. Okay, I could live with that. I think every
I don't
language is God's language, but that's beside the point.
I don't actually know much Latin, so I don't know all of the ins and outs of Latin grammar. But I will say this, okay? Uh, in uh, in Hebrew, we don't. It's always there is no gender neutrality, so we have no choice. We have to refer to God as either masculine or feminine. So what do? Well, we we do both depending on the circumstances. But you hear all these people
Yeah,
going, "How do you
that
know that
I
God's not a female?" And I'm going, "Well, the reason I know that is because God is God. God doesn't have a gender. So God is not a female, but just because God is not a female doesn't mean that I'm making a declaration that God is a male. God is neither male nor female. God is neutral, gender neutral, does not have a gender.
It just so happens that he wants us to refer to him as God the Father, the masculine. That does not mean you're right. That does not give him a gender. That's just how he
Right.
wants to be referred to.
Right. That is that there is an element of truth to that. Yes, we
Oh,
do. We do, even in Hebrew, we do refer to God the Father. But
that's right.
when God is doing things that would maybe be more considered to be feminine activities, then
You're not going to say housekeeping, are you?
no, everybody knows housekeeping
just,
is a male activity.
just, just, just trying to keep you
All
out of
right, we're
trouble,
going to get in
buddy.
trouble here, Nick. I'm digging myself into a hole here, and it's getting deeper
You
and
are.
deeper.
You know what they say
Everybody,
about when you're stuck in a hole, you know what to do, right?
right? Stop digging or dig faster.
I think your first option is the
Yeah,
best one.
I, I
Stop
said,
digging.
I said, I started off by saying, "Okay, brace yourselves, people. We're going to get really deep here, right?"
There you go.
I
Now he's
didn't
stuck
mean
in a
it.
hole. He's hollering for help.
I didn't mean it literally. And of course, now that I'm using the term literally, it's not appropriate even to do that because it's a figurative hole.
Oh my
Have you ever
God.
heard of the group? Have you ever heard of the group Awful? Okay, so
I've heard a lot of awful groups.
no, I no, it's a real group. So yeah, this is on the topic of grammar. You know, you can have a lot of actually you'd have a lot of fun with this stuff. Okay, um, uh, so so how many times have you heard that people sort of say, um, uh, "Oh man, he was running a marathon, right? And at the end of the marathon, he literally died, or you know, I'm hungry. I'm literally starving." And you
Right.
know, no, you're actually figuratively starving,
You're
right?
just
You're not
hungry.
literally starving. So there's a group actually. It's called Americans. Hang on just a second. Okay, Americans who figuratively use literally.
And that's what awful is. I thought you were going to say it was a band of some kind.
No, it's not.
You know, somebody puts on a stinky performance. Oh, that's awful. Hey, that's the name of the band. What do you want?
Yeah, I don't. I've never come across a band named Awful. But when you think about it, that's for if I was in a band, that would be the name Awful.
Yeah.
You guys are
Well,
awful.
yeah, you got
It,
that right.
it's sort of like
But there is a band out there that's not awful, but they are funny. It's called Buddy What's His Name and the Other Fellers.
I'm not familiar with them.
I know.
How
But
do you know?
you look them up. Because nobody knows their name. It's just Buddy What's His Name and the Other Fellers. That's the whole point of the band's name.
Oh,
You can't remember, so Buddy What's His Name and the Other Fellers. And guess where they're from?
not Pickle Lake.
They're from Newfoundland, boy.
Newfoundland. I should have known.
Yep. God, they're funny. You should look up Dear Mr. Ford or Glory Hallelujah. It'll
Okay,
kill you.
you know what we need to do. We need to figure out where. If we can't do it tonight, we have to do this for next week. We have to start doing a weekly update on the Harry DeWolf voyage through the Northwest Passage.
Oh, they've left on that?
Haven't they? I don't know.
I don't know.
That wouldn't that be
I,
neat? That would be a weekly update.
yeah, I think so because we do our show once a week.
Yes, we do.
The daily one, wouldn't it?
At least we try to.
Yeah, we do try.
Okay, so
There.
how did we get on to this topic? We were talking about France and French, right? Now you know what's really interesting. If you go to Montreal, for instance, okay, you know, in Quebec they're always trying to be more French than the French. So in Montreal or here in Ottawa, for instance, okay, when you go to park your car, you fais stationnement, right? Okay,
Yeah.
uh, all right. So that's the term for parking a car. Do you know what the term um, uh, for parking a car in Paris is?
I'm afraid to ask.
On fait du parking.
What is it?
Parking.
Parking?
Right.
That's the.
Here, on fait du stationnement. And in Paris, on fait du parking. Now there is an actual ministry that looks after, protecting the pristine nature of the French language. And that just drives the bureaucrats crazy. But
Oh,
that's how people talk, right?
yeah.
So,
Oh man.
oh dear, oh dear.
The thing, that's. I'm paraphrasing a line from what was his name, Rob Roy, and
Rob Roy McGregor.
that's the one. And there was a line in it that I think kind of fits. And I'm doing this tongue in cheek and just poking a little fun. But the problem
Of
with
course
France
you
is
are.
full of Frenchmen.
I missed that, Nick. What did you have to say?
I said the problem with France is it's full of Frenchmen.
Oh, well, that's a very famous saying. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah,
That's a
I
famous
know.
saying in France itself. You know what they say in
Oh, really?
France, right?
The
They
problem
say
with
when
France is
God,
full of Frenchmen?
yeah, when they know this, it's an actual saying, right? When God created the world, he wanted to create a perfect spot, so he created France, and then he realized that the world didn't deserve a perfect place, so he created Frenchmen, or words to that effect. And hey, I'm not saying that, okay, guys? Don't make a complaint to the Human Rights Commission, all right, or the Official Languages Commission, okay? I'm just relaying what somebody else said. I don't believe it. I Frenchmen are as imperfect as everybody else is. And I get to say
Yeah.
that because I'm part French. I just remember that, okay? So
So am I. I'm half French. My
I'm not going to
mother's
ask you which half.
the right half.
The right half.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the same thing with the Dutch half. It's the right half,
All
which
right.
makes it hard to walk.
Okay, which means that we're now running out of material for the second segment. So we're gonna have to go for our break. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Or if you have to go away, to visit the little boy's room or little girl's room or whatever it is, gender neutral room, the little it room. Um, uh, Make sure you get back here quickly so you don't miss any of the Nick and Joe show coming to you on the Think Radio Broadcast Network. Okay, welcome back to the Nick and Joe show. I'm Joe, he's Nick. I am in Bunker A. Nick is in Bunker PL, Papa Lima. Sounds like, Bambino Papalina. You ever see that skit with, do you ever see, what's his name? Oh, gosh. Who's that comedian
Oh,
that
I don't know.
insults everybody all the time?
That's only a million of them.
No, no, no. CPO Sharkey. Remember him?
Oh, you're talking Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. That was it. Don Rickles. Yeah. There's one thing on the internet. Check out Don Rickles and Frank Sinatra on the Johnny Carson show.
I think I've seen
There
that
is
clip. God, he's
there
hilarious.
it is hilarious, and Don Rickles pretending to speak